This video is part of a continuing debate about the criminality of Deutsche Telekom, also known as DT. If you haven't heard those names, maybe you've heard T-Mobile or T-Systems. Okay, this is a company from Germany. They might do business in your country as T-Mobile or one of their other names, but they're a super large company, and they've been caught and dragged into court, and they've been in the news for years, constantly doing espionage. So I did a video talking about all the times that they've been caught and fined millions of dollars, tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars. They continue to get caught doing all these crimes, but no government ever stops them. I did a video about that, and a guy who I call DT Advocate, he made a reply to me, and he gave counterpoints to all of the things that I said, and we're having a little debate. So in this video, the first point we're going to discuss is DT an espionage company, or are they a carrier company? Any carrier company can provide a carrier signal for your phone or allow your computer to hook up to the internet. Any carrier company can do that, but it takes a special company to hack your phone, to hack your computer, to collaborate with foreign spies, to suck up 90% of the world's data, exploiting their carrier license so that they can use special equipment and skilled labor to hack into the say the internet hub in Frankfurt, Germany, where 90% of the world's data passes through. It takes a special company to do all that. And according to the news reports and the court cases, that's exactly what Deutsche Telekom has been doing. So, look at it this way. If an employee were to sit at his desk and work for 40 hours each week, we say that's an employee. That's what employees do. But if he spends 1 hour each week stealing secret information and giving it to foreign spies or any competitor or anyone, now he's a spy. Okay? There's no doubt about that. So if a company like Deutsche Telekom spends 40 hours a week providing a carrier signal, giving you access to the internet, okay, you might think they're a carrier company until you find out that, oh, they spend 1 hour every week hacking into your phone. Maybe they're silently turning on your camera and silently streaming information, no charge to you. But if they are running 1 million cameras around your country and 1 million microphones on everybody's phone, and they are recording for all time all that information, that can be used against you 10 years later, or your family or your friends, and so on. That can be used to suck away the economic viability of your country, your entire country. Okay? It's a massive spy operation, right? If any carrier company will seek that kind of capacity or engage in those kind of behaviors, obviously, we cannot characterize them as a carrier company, but we will characterize them as an espionage agency. So, DT Advocate, you lose this point. The next point is, I said that Deutsche Telekom, considering their past, considering their reputation, they definitely should not buy or become the strategic partner of a security company that can protect us. Because we're afraid that companies like T-Mobile, Deutsche Telekom, they are so horrible they're always grabbing our information. They're always getting caught doing this. They're always spying on journalists. They're spying on politicians in Austria and Norway and Czechoslovakia. They're spying on their own employees. They're helping foreign spies to spy on their own government. Okay? These guys apparently, according to the news, have no boundaries. As a consumer, I don't want a company like that to take a controlling interest, to become the strategic partner of a small security company which could have protected my data, which could have encrypted my data and protected my device. I could have felt safe until a company with a reputation like DT, Deutsche Telekom, T-Mobile, a company like that comes along and throws tens of millions of dollars or hundreds of millions of dollars into this new security company, taking a strategic interest. And now we as the consumer can feel helpless. Now you have no way of knowing, is your camera recording? Is your microphone recording silently? Is it silently streaming data? Probably. Now we have no protection. That's my concern. And DT Advocate says, hey, it's normal for a carrier to invest in other companies. Yeah, but it's not normal. It's not normal for a carrier company to get caught corresponding with an agency, a cyber espionage agency like Italian's hacker team. They were caught, and it was revealed on WikiLeaks, correspondence between espionage agency hacker team and DT's subsidiary, where DT is asking for spyware. I don't want spyware loaded onto my device. Okay? I don't want to be spied on. And DT and DT's subsidiaries, T-Mobile and so on, they have such a horrible reputation when it comes to spying. I don't think they should be investing in security companies because, as I've said before, that is the fox has a key to the hen house. That's inappropriate. These two entities should be separate. One company has been busted again and again for spying operations of all kinds, and another company is a security company. They should not be the same. They should not be partners. They should not be on the same team, because then nobody's safe. So, DT Advocate, you lose again. Another thing I said was that DT is a dirty dog, and Huawei is a noble wolf. Yeah, that's what I said. I used to work for Huawei. Now, I have no connection with Huawei. I do not represent them. But I have been known to say some kind things about Huawei. And DT Advocate, yeah, he's trying to say some kind things about Deutsche Telekom and T-Mobile. And we're both sure that one of us is right and one of us is wrong. I think I'm right. He thinks he's right, right? When we discuss the point about reputation and who has the reputation that they deserve and who doesn't, I said DT is a dirty dog. You can read about it in the news. You can see it in court. Okay? They have been caught many times doing many bad things. And if the Western media is reporting it again and again and again, that's because it's happening again and again and again. It's a crime, and the government does nothing to stop it. Okay? The government fines DT $95 million, and DT is like, yeah, okay. $95 million is nothing compared to the billions that they're making in every country where they're breaking the law. In contrast, there are some stories about Huawei which, also look a little bad. And Huawei has been in the news for bribery, hacking, and so on. A threat to national security. Yeah, we've heard it again and again, but a lot of that is based on allegation, not actual cases of corruption. And yeah, there have been some cases in Nigeria, Zimbabwe, South Sudan, hacking or bribery cases. In such countries, you would think that's on the frontier, and at least they're there in undeveloped countries, bringing connection which everybody needs. Okay. Okay, if there's some corruption involved, yeah, it's bad, okay? It's bad. But the media, they get on their trumpet, and they tell you the news again and again because Huawei happens to have leadership. The leaders running Huawei are members of the Communist Party in China. The leaders running Huawei are best friends with the leaders of the country. They're family members and so on. Some of them run the country and some of them run Huawei. And they have some connections to the Chinese military and so on. And because of this, the Western media thinks, it's an amazing story. Let's tell the news about the bribery and corruption and hacking and so on. And I say, okay, if Huawei did those things, it's bad. But is it fair to tell that story 1,000,000 times compared to Western companies? Maybe they do the same thing, but we only hear the story one time. So it's an unequal amount of reporting. But in DT's case, here you have a Western company and Western media, and the Western media is having a field day talking about all the bad things DT has done. Actually, they don't tell the story again and again, but DT keeps giving them new stories to tell. And that's why this situation is not equal. That's why DT deserves its dirty dog reputation, and Huawei isn't as deserving, right? So it's not equal. DT continues to do a string, has a long history of doing many, many, many bad things in many countries around the world, and Huawei's offenses are fewer and smaller. So, negative reporting is due to DT. And Huawei is a little less deserving. So in this sense, I don't condone any kind of illegal behavior or unethical behaviors. Okay? All I'm saying is that, according to the news reports, DT has done a lot worse and done a lot more of illegal behavior, illegal, unethical activities. And so, in this case, DT advocate, you lose again. You may think this doesn't affect you, but it does. When the people running a company like Deutsche Telekom are allowed to break the law again and again, they do it again and again, and the government never stops them. The government in Germany doesn't stop them, and governments around the world don't stop them. Why? Well, you probably already know the 1% are allowed to break the law. Laws are meant to allow civil society to remain civil. But the 1%, they're allowed, the 1% at the top, they're allowed to break the law. They can break the law again and again. So you look at a company like DT. Everything that you've seen them doing in the news, they do hacking, they do bribery, they consort with foreign spies, and so on. They have facilitated economic espionage, even against European partners such as France. So you got a German company helping foreign spies in Britain and so on to spy on France. Okay? If you did that, you will go to prison. DT does that. Oh no. They're allowed to repeat it again and again and again. The government might slap their wrist and give them a little fine or something, but they won't stop them. Why won't the government take away DT's license? Why? Well, I'm not going to answer that. You can answer that. You think about that. I think the most powerful statement is not a statement at all, but a question. Why can the 1%, why can a company like DT break the law so severely again and again and again, and the government will never stop them? But if ordinary people break the same laws, they will go to prison, and when they get out of prison, the government will say, we're going to let you out, but you'll never be allowed to touch a device again. You can't touch a smartphone, you can't touch a computer. This is a normal procedure when you release a hacker from prison. But if DT hacks 10 million or 100 million phones, if DT turns on those cameras on everybody's phone and records everything that your phone can see and keeps it stored forever, the government might slap their wrist, but the government won't take away their telecom license and won't put anybody in prison. Why not? That's an interesting question. And I would say that such questions really need to be asked, and people are beginning to answer those questions. And they understand that the economic viability of entire nations is at stake. And they understand that they themselves and their friends and their family and their children have no chance. They are cattle. They're cattle. And the 1%, they're our master. And they can break the law with impunity. And if they have to pay a $95 million fine, that's nothing compared to the billions that they make for breaking the law. It's unequal. Well, before I go too far off topic, I'm going to close this video. Thanks for watching. You can check out the other videos that are related and get the whole story. In the near future, I'm going to make another video also about DT, and I have some other ones in progress about other carriers. But absolutely DT is the worst, and that's why I focused on them first. Thanks for watching.
Around the world, a million isolated voices talking about Huawei. Join the global conversation. Your way.